Good evening and thank you for joining us on NTA Nationwide this rainy Wednesday. I'm Naja'atu Tijani with the trending stories from across the nation. The Federal Executive Council has approved 13.08 trillion naira budget proposal for the 2021 fiscal year. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, announced this while briefing newsmen after the meeting of the Council, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari.
So the total budget proposal that is made for 2021 is to enable us to attain a more inclusive growth and also to achieve the key objectives of government, which include stimulating the economy, creating jobs, enhancing growth and creating infrastructure investments, also promoting manufacturing and local production. We do expect that the Nigerian economy will recover to the path of growth early in 2021. So the total aggregate revenue that is projected for the 2021 budget is 7.89 trillion. And what is unique about the 2021 budget is that we have brought in the budgets of 60 government-owned enterprises.
The budget is predicated on a $40 per barrel benchmark price of crude oil production of 1.86 million barrels per day, exchange rate of 379 naira to $1, GDP growth target of 3%, and inflation rate of 11.95%.
This represents 3.64%, slightly above what is required by the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 3%. And also to report that the total capital expenditure that is projected in the budget is 29% of the aggregate expenditure. This is an improvement over the 24% that we have in 2020, but slightly below the 30% that we targeted in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan.
And 4 newly appointed permanent secretaries have been sworn in to fill existing vacancies in the Federal Civil Service. President Muhammadu Buhari performed the ceremony shortly before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting. Those sworn in include James Sili from Kaduna State, Ismaila Abubakar, Kebbi State, Ibene Patricia Roberts, River State, and Shehu Aliu Shinkafi, Zamfara State. This is the second time in the new normal where permanent secretaries have been sworn in by the President. 12 others took their oath of office last month. Apart from being the accounting officers in their ministries of posting, permanent secretaries are responsible for managing current issues and problems, as well as generating ideas to support the agenda of their ministers. They are also expected to encourage a climate in which the ministers and ministry staff can work effectively in the implementation of policies and programs of government. Meanwhile, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has observed with concern attempts by a section of the media to sensationalize the remarks he read on behalf of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the 60th Independence Anniversary Church service. The SGF in a statement affirms that for the avoidance of doubt, the Vice President and himself remain firmly and irrevocably committed to the ideal of one indivisible Nigerian nation and are deeply appreciative of President Muhammadu Buhari's consistent efforts at strengthening the unity of the Nigerian nation. Boss Mustafa stresses any suggestion to the contrary is a clear misrepresentation of the common position of government. And the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has suspended the new increase in electricity for a period of 14 days with effect from 28th September 2020 to 11th October 2020. A statement signed by the chairman of the commission, Professor James Momo, indicates the suspension is in compliance with the agreement reached by the federal government and organized labor for further consultation and finalization of negotiations between the parties. The commission therefore directs all the 11 distribution companies in the country to comply with the directive. All tariffs for customers and market obligations of the distribution companies during the 14-day suspension shall be computed on the basis of rates applicable as at 31st August 2020, says NERC. Now, Nigeria's ascension to the diamond age in the journey to nationhood after independence in 1960 does not just coincide with the unique number of 60, but also brings about different feelings and perceptions and common history of indivisibility and national integration. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that this was the summary of views by discussants on NTA's Current Affairs program Tuesday Live.
Journey of 60 years knitted by colonial powers, characterized by diverse interests and feelings, has moved on despite challenges of growth and development. 6 decades after achieving sovereignty, discussants on Tuesday Live say the nation has recorded huge success in economy, politics, education, commerce, agriculture and local technology, but more needs to be done.
Independence as a nation 60 years ago, other countries have flopped completely. Some have broken into pieces with disastrous consequences.
At 60, we have good cause to compliment ourselves because we survived. Okay. And we are still living. Okay. We are still hoping.
Democratic stability, continuity in government policies and programs, and inclusivity in all strata, they say, constitute genuine intention to sustain the agenda of one Nigeria.
There's a lot of reason to be hopeful, given the type of administration we have. Talk about the issue of corruption. This government is having the courage to investigate the investigators.
We didn't have much of entrepreneurs at the time. But now, I think we have more of those entrepreneurs coming up. And the more you have them, I think the economy is spreading better. At least it's going down. It's not as if it's only at the top.
As Nigeria strives to attain its desired heights among the Committee of Nations, the euphoria of fulfillment and joy that eroded the atmosphere at independence, they advise should remain the guiding spirit. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Now we'll be joining our Kano studio where political economist Dr. Kabiru Sufi is standing by to give us an insight into the country's developing economy, the journey so far. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Sufi.
Thank you, Najatu, for having me.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, how would you describe Nigeria's economy at present, considering how and where we started after independence?
Well, the journey has been so far so good. Looking at where we started in 1960 and where we are today. There have been challenges, of course, but I think I believe that we have been able to make a lot of progress right from our first National Development Plan, 1962-68 Development Plan, the second National Development Plan, third, as well as subsequent attempts to chart a way for our development. I believe we have done well, and we are still on the right course, but there are challenges which we are still trying to overcome.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned progress. And which areas do you think the country can harness to get more of such development?
I believe there is a lot to do in terms of diversification. For example, we have seen the fall in the price of petroleum oil in the international market, what it has cost us. So I believe there is the need for us to diversify. Of course, we should have made attempts to industrialize long before now, but I believe it is still not late, and we can still look at how we can improve on our own agriculture. I believe that the fact that our own arable land a large part of it is still not being utilized, and our farmers are yet to be fully mechanized. And of course, there are a lot of opportunities in the agricultural sector as well as in the other sectors of the economy. So I believe that there are areas which we can still do better if we try to harness those areas rather than rely on oil as our major source of revenue.
And what about the leaders? What is the role of the leaders and also the citizenry in all this?
Well, I believe that everything rests on the leadership of a country. It is the leadership that gives the economy direction. And the quality of our leaders, of course, will result into a better quality, or a better economy for the country. So I believe that it is a responsibility of the leaders to make our own economy better, to make the polity better. And of course, the citizenry have a role to play here, not only in producing qualitative leadership, but in also giving quality followership and also being involved in the political as well as the economic activities of the country.
Now, Nigeria is aspiring to be one of the world's largest economies. What's the roadmap? What is the one thing we should do to get there?
Well, I believe that proper planning is what is required for us to get to where we are supposed to be. Of course, without proper planning, we can't be where we are supposed to be. So first of all, we need a proper planning. And like I said earlier, we need to look at issues such as the diversification of the economy. Of course, the economy has to be diversified, and that will also depend on the commitment of the leadership. It is still achievable based on our potentials. We have seen how all the thinking that our own economy will suffer a lot, especially during the pandemic, showed that there is a sense of resilience on the part of our own economy. So I believe that we are still hopeful that Nigeria can move forward and achieve its objectives along that direction.
With proper planning and resilience as you advocate. Thank you very much, Dr. Kabiru Sufi, for joining us. Now, Lagos is our first port of call, and Hingino will be our guide. Hello, Hingino.
Nigerians have been advised to desist from doing anything that could jeopardize the peace and unity of the country for them to reap the dividends of democracy. The Lagos State Deputy Governor Dr. Bafemi Hamzat gave the advice at a service to commemorate Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary in Alausa. Nosa Osula reports.
The Deputy Governor also advised Nigerians to sustain the good attitude they portrayed during the COVID-19 induced lockdown, in which they supported government and themselves to see the nation through the difficult period.
Continue to live in peace, and I think that's the bottom line. All those war, well, let them go and see what has happened to countries that are in war, in Somalia, and see what used to be a beautiful country, what it is today. Nobody can predict the outcome of a war. So let us live together in peace. Let us appreciate the goodness.
Dr. Hamzat added that Nigerians have a reason to celebrate 60 years of the country's independence.
It is worth celebrating. If you notice, many countries have disintegrated. So we are together. We are. As long as we continue to believe in that entity, we'll be fine. So there's a lot to celebrate.
The Deputy Governor urged citizens to continue to pray for the progress of the country. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
Talking security now. As the fight against insecurity in Nigeria continues, it is important to appreciate those who have been in the forefront of ensuring the safety of lives. This is why enforcement and compliance professionals of Nigeria recognized the efforts of the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Ahmed Ilyasu, under Zone 2 Police Command. Diana Ajali reports.
Lagos State happens to be a smart city with about a 20 million population and the epicenter of COVID-19. Since the outbreak, the Nigerian police redoubled their efforts to ensure that the general public comply with the government rules to curb the spread of coronavirus. It is on this premise that the enforcement and compliance professionals of Nigeria deem it fit to pay a courtesy visit on the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 2 Police Command.
On several occasions, we discovered that he was out physically monitoring, enforcing the directive of the Inspector General of Police, ensuring that there's compliance with what the President had directed.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 2 Police Command, Ahmed Ilyasu, who was honored, said he's ready to partner with the association and other law enforcement agencies to ensure that crime is brought to the barest minimum in the country.
Community policing is the only way forward. That means partnering, sitting down together, look at the equations of the various problems, the challenges we are facing. From various professional angles, we listen to you as our stakeholders, and then we find solutions, we find answers that can solve some of these problems.
The zone has been responsible for the crackdown of many criminals and syndicates in Lagos and Ogun. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
It's now time for a break. Nationwide continues with Kemi in Ibadan after that.
Capital Territory Administration hereby informs the general public that in view of the Guard of Honor and Anniversary Parade holding at the Eagle Square to commemorate 60 years of Nigeria's independence, there will be diversion of traffic around the Eagle Square on Thursday, 1st October 2020 between 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. The diversion will be at the following points: Dulet Junction, Finance Junction, Benue House, DSS Headquarters by Aso Drive, behind Phase 1 of Shehu Shagari Way, Court of Appeal by Goodluck Jonathan Way. Motorists are therefore advised to cooperate with security agencies who will be on ground to direct to alternative routes. Entrance to the venue of the parade is strictly by invitation. Invited guests are to assemble at either Old Parade Ground, Area 10 Garki Abuja, or the Millennium Park, from where they will be transported to the venue of the parade. All persons not invited to the event are advised to stay away from the vicinity of the Eagle Square. Security personnel will be on ground to ensure that no one is allowed to loiter around the restricted area. Olushade Adeshola, Permanent Secretary, Federal Capital Territory Administration, announcer.
Candidates who applied for admission into Ahmadu Bello University NTA TV College degree program in mass communication for 2020-2021 academic session are invited to a post-UTME and direct entry screening exercise scheduled as follows. Date: 15th to 17th October 2020. Venue: NTA TV College premises, Rayfield, Jos. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Screening fee: 2,000 naira, paid through the remitter platform in any commercial bank in favor of NTA TV College, Jos. Eligible candidates are those who indicated NTA TV College as their first choice and scored 180 and above in the 2020 TME examination. Candidates are expected to come along with the originals of their O-level certificates, JAMB slips, birth certificates, indigenship certificate and proof of payment. Direct entry candidates are expected to come along with their original diploma certificates, A-level results in addition to the other credentials mentioned above. Shortlisted candidates without O-level results will not be cleared by JAMB. Therefore, all candidates are advised to visit any JAMB office or accredited CBT center nearest to them to upload their O-level results. Wearing a face mask is compulsory for admittance into the college premises, in addition to strict observance of other COVID-19 safety protocols. Announcer, Registrar.
Yes, that's the painful effect of what corruption costs you. But what does corruption cost us all? Watch Bad Guys on NTA Network, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. every Wednesday from the Akin Fadeyi Foundation. Bad Guys. Who are the bad guys? Join us.
The Premier League Live, showing on the NTA Network this Saturday from 12 noon. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Axis Bank and Bye-Bye Jebu.
Welcome to Ibadan. A campaign to put an end to open defecation and improve sanitation in Kwara State has been launched by the state government. Iyabode Olorunshola reports that the launch is part of